Well, when we looked at the use of fuel ethanol in this country, we noticed that over the last decade it has increased by almost an order of magnitude. And it's come to the point where ethanol is now the most common compound found in the gasoline that you and I put in our vehicles. And so we looked in our atmospheric data to see if there was any evidence for this large change in the atmospheric composition. And indeed, we did find that in 2010, the air in cities contained more ethanol than it did earlier in the decade. Ethanol in the atmosphere itself is not regulated by the EPA, but the compound is removed by chemical reactions. And when it is removed, it forms a compound called acetaldehyde. And that is a hazardous air pollutant, and as such is regulated by the EPA. And also acetaldehyde forms ozone, which is a secondary air pollutant. So through this connection, ethanol to acetaldehyde to ozone, it can affect air quality. So when we looked at acetaldehyde, we expected to see an increase perhaps because ethanol has gone up so significantly. But in fact what we saw was a decrease in acetaldehyde. Now, to understand that, you have to know that acetaldehyde can be formed from many different compounds in the atmosphere. And most of those compounds have actually gone down very strongly over the last decade because of the introduction of cleaner vehicles. So even though ethanol has gone up, we're not seeing the effects of that increase in ethanol on acetaldehyde. So despite the fact that ethanol is now the most common compound in gasoline, our ability to measure it is actually very limited. So moving forward, I hope that this study raises more awareness of ethanol and will improve our data on this compound. Also, most of the ethanol in fuel is now present in what we call E10, which is a gasoline blend with 10% ethanol. And in the future, we may go to E15, where 15% of the gasoline is ethanol. And so we can expect further changes, and we'd like to be in a good position to follow those as they occur.